Oh, here we go. Welcome to the Morning Startup, where we believe you can develop neural pathways that will awaken you to a full heart and clear mind. Live with joy, health, and success. I'm your host, Michael Oliver, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, Deborah Dyack and Maria Gosher. Good morning. And in Italy, where Swami is, it's in the afternoon. So we're really super excited to have Swami with us. Maria's taken the day off. She's got some other responsibilities that she's handling. So it's you're with Deborah and myself today, and I am going to pitch it over to Deborah to introduce Swami.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for taking time to
Thank
be
you.
with us.
Thank you.
I know you're very, very busy. And for those of you who don't know about a Swami, we're going to learn about his journey. But it's such an honor to have, and a rare occasion to have an authentic Swami with us. I've known Swami for many years from an organization that I belong to, SRF, and I know he's probably going to talk a little bit about Yogananda, a project he's working on. But he is from Italy, and it's very rare to have a Swami from Europe, and he'll explain that journey. He took his vows in Jagannath and Puri in India in 92, became Swami Nirvanananda, which means bliss of freedom from suffering, which will explain how he got his name. And that is a perfect name for you, Swami. I have to say, of all the people I've known in my life, you are the most joyful. You live what you sing, and your heart is pure, and
just an undivided life.
And you are truly realized, self-realized. So it's such a joy to have you here. I'm instead of reading on and on about all the things that you are involved with, I think we'd like to talk about them. What got you on the path? What was your influence? Because to become a Swami is not an easy life. You've given up everything, and you give so much. You give us so much. So I'm going to let you talk.
Okay, thank you. Namaste to everyone.
Namaste.
Thank you.
It's a long way I've been going through, because when I was a young boy, I was very curious to know about the purpose of life, about who am I, and all these questions that usually they come up. And nowhere could I find an answer. And one day, a friend, when I was around 25, gave me a book, and the book is the most precious book for me because it changed my life, and so far that I know, it changed the lives of many, and maybe I could say thousands of people. The book is called The Autobiography of a Yogi. It's written by a real yogi, Paramahansa Yogananda, a real saint, who came to the States. Yesterday we celebrated 100 years ago. Mm-hmm. He arrived in Boston with nothing, knowing no one, and he started this organization to spread the ancient wisdom of yoga through it's called Kriya Yoga. So when I read the book, I really said, oh, this is what I was looking for. And at that time, I was working in an insurance company. So, can you imagine myself? And all this. And so after reading the book, I went to the boss in the office and say, I want to quit my job. He said, no, it's impossible. And I said, no, I cannot live like this. Now I have found a purpose for my life. At that time I was also a musician, mm-hmm. and but I was not. I was mostly country folk music playing, this kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And what happened? Because it was not easy, anyhow, to live without a job.
Right.
So it happened that the insurance company, I would say, you know, when you make a decision for God or to look for God, miracles start to happen. So the first miracle, I can say many miracles happened in my life, and this was really the first one, where the insurance company, for some reason, I don't know, not for me, of course, but they decided to give 3 years of salary to all the people that wanted to live.
Oh my goodness.
And they said, well, this is my occasion, you know. So I went back to the boss and said, you see, here's the paper. I want to sign it immediately. I was the first night. So I was imagining, I said, you know, for 3 years at least, I got paid for being free. So
Right.
it's wonderful. And so my spiritual search started like this. I had a lot of time, and I didn't know about the real meditation and the yoga, so I started also becoming vegetarian and starting with hatha yoga and simple kind of meditation. And really, step by step, it was so beautiful. I cannot say. You say I'm happy because everything happened to me was so full of happiness.
What drew you to India specifically? How did you go from being in Italy to going to India to seek your path?
Because you know, after reading the autobiography of a yogi, I became very curious also to see the places that Yoganandaji were writing about.
Right.
So I wanted to go to Benares, I wanted to go Calcutta, Puri, all these holy places. So I also didn't know anyone at that time in India. And so I just flew to India and everything started. It was not easy because India is difficult for the first time. It's so different. It's so completely different, especially if you don't move from luxury hotels, but you really move with the people in the trains and everywhere. It's so busy and so many people, but they are so lovely. It's really a beautiful, I would say, population. The soul of India, really, I fell in love with that immediately. So I went to Varanasi and got the first dip in the Ganges, because you know this is a kind of must to dip in the Ganges.
Right.
It's not so clear water, but it's holy. So, and then I wanted to go to Calcutta, and then it happened that I met Mother Teresa of Calcutta. You know Mother Teresa.
Yes. Yes. Oh, yes.
He's so humble. Yeah.
So I had the desire to help, to give whatever I could do. So she introduced me to the place. It is near the Kali Temple. It's very opposite of the Kali Temple. It's the place of Mother Teresa. And she asked me to because, you know, she was going on the streets and just taking the people who were starving, really, literally starving, and trying to help them and to bring them back to life. And so they were so weak, they had not the strength just to take the food and put it in the mouth.
Wow.
So weak people. The arms, the legs, they were very small, just skin and bones, nothing else. So my duty, let's say, like this, was just with a spoon to put the food into their mouth, and then slowly they were chewing and so on. And then also I was asked, because the blood, the circulation was not enough in the body, so slowly I had to give them a little massage, very slowly, very tender. And that was my first week in Calcutta with
Wow.
Mother Teresa. It was also very powerful. And, things like this, they change your life completely.
Oh, yeah.
You cannot
Yes.
Well, that
live.
was divine. That was
Hmm?
divine intervention for you for your first week to be working with Mother Teresa. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, it is. I felt
Amazing.
lucky also because I could be there with them. And
Mhm.
it was also very nice because I I was staying in a little hotel nearby, of course. But in the morning, I was going where the sisters in the monastery where they live, and there, like at 5 or 4:30 in the morning, they had a common prayer. So it was like recharging all the batteries, the energy to go through the whole day because it was very, very intense. Very for them, after years like that, it's I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really a mission. You can feel it's a mission. Otherwise, it's impossible to do it
Hmm.
so intensely with so much love, with so much care. Wonderful. So I was going there when they in the chapel when they were all silently praying, and it was such a contrast because India is, especially Calcutta, it's so noisy, and everybody, all the cars are horn and all
Hmm. Oh,
everything.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've been to India.
I yes, I've been to Chennai,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and to your point, I've never been in. That was my first experience in India, and it was very, very different. And they assigned a driver for me because they said you don't want to, you will not be able to drive in India. You will need a
No, no.
driver to drive you around in India.
Always, always. I never drive,
And
only the bike.
yeah,
Only
yes,
the bike.
yeah, yeah. And my driver was always pushing his horn,
Yeah,
and
all the
and
time.
there's like no rules on the road. It's just you kind of fit where you can fit.
Yeah.
So it was a very different experience, but it was a very memorable experience as well. Yeah.
So I will just wanted to say the big contrast because the silence inside the chapel was, I could say, loud silent, much
Oh, yes.
louder than the
Yeah.
noise outside. It
Hmm.
was so beautiful to
Yeah.
feel the power of this prayer compared to the noise outside. And then after that, we went to help the people that they were being gathered in the big hall and try to help them and save
Hmm.
many lives. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. So this was my first contact with real India, I would say.
Wow. Right. Wow.
But
And
then I got sick because first year, first time to India, it's very easy to get sick. Probably some water that I
Hmm.
drank that was not okay and was not clear and was maybe polluted.
Hmm.
So I had to stop going to Mother Teresa. She said, just go better, get better, and then let's see.
Hmm.
So I went to Puri. Puri is just one night drive by train from Calcutta. And at that time, Puri was really, really beautiful because compared to the noise and the cars and the traffic of Calcutta, in Puri there were no cars, only bicycles,
Wow.
only bicycle rickshaw, and all
Hmm.
this so very, very clean air, so beautiful.
Hmm.
So I went there, and but I still felt sick, and I went to see and visit. There is the ashram of the guru of Yogananda called the Swami Sri Yukteswar.
Oh. Right.
So I wanted to go there and
Wow.
see the place. And it is a small ashram, very nice and clean, a beautiful garden, and a little temple where the Swami has been buried at the time of Yogananda still, in 1936. And so one day I was there. I went every day now. I remember I was just entering and sitting there and meditate and trying to get a little strength. And one day I was so weak that I felt I had to lay down. So I didn't dare to lay in the temple, so I went outside behind the temple and I fell asleep. I don't know how long I was there. But what happened? That was also one miracle in my life. Because when I woke up, I felt completely healed, completely. Wow. I felt really, wow, that was a wonderful.
That was a good sleep. Yeah.
So really,
yeah,
sometimes it can be hard, but if you have faith and you just follow your inner spiritual path and call, then really miracles can happen.
Yeah, that was
It's
a good
wonderful.
connection. That was lovely. And then you stayed in Puri, right? You stayed and you met Father Marian. Is that correct?
Yes,
At that time, or did you go back to Mother Teresa?
No, I was still there in Puri, and one day I met a friend, and he told me, there is an Italian nun here in Puri. You want to see her, to visit her? I say, of course. So I went. She was Italian, and she was living there for maybe 20 years or longer. And she was working with Father Marian. So she introduced me to Father Marian and to the lepers colony. So I would say from Mother Teresa, I went to the lepers colony. It was also a very intense experience.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. Yeah.
But Father Marian, he was a Polish father. He also had a very extraordinary life because he was studying to become a priest in Poland. And when the Nazi invaded Poland, he was taken to Dachau, this concentration camp in Germany, where thousands and thousands of people also were there, no? And so he was also a miracle, living miracle, because he lived more than 3 years in Dachau, and he survived.
Wow.
So he was laughing and making a joke because his name is Marian Zelazek. It's with Z, the family name. So he said they never reached the bottom of the line. So, unfortunately, all the others were killed, and he will survive. But this is the mystery of life, So he decided to live and spend his life helping the poorest of the poor. And so when he went to Puri, he realized that the lepers, they had no shelter, they had no place where to stay. They were just, because Puri is a very famous place because of the Jagannath temple. Jagannath temple is the temple of Vishnu, or Lord Krishna, who is called the Lord of the universe. So thousands and thousands of pilgrims are coming there every day.
Wow.
And, beggars, lepers, this is the way they can survive. And so Father Marian, because he was staying in the concentration camp in Germany, he got from the German government a pension. And so with that money, he could start a village. And he started to build little huts at the beginning. Then with bricks, they were making the bricks themselves, everything. And so this was the village that I found and he made also a little hospital, a little school, because at that time, there were about 500 families. Usually, the lepers are confined in hospital in places like this. But Father Marian gave them the possibility to make a family, no? Because, the leprosy is disease that can be cured nowadays, also at that time. And so with the pill every day for 6 months, the leprosy is completely stopped. So there is no danger to go with the lepers, to stay with them, to touch them, to hug them, The most beautiful thing is when you go there and the lepers, they come and they want to hold your hand, because leprosy, the main part of the body is the fingers or the feet. They are losing these parts of the body. So to hold a hand for them is something so precious, And if you are aware of this, then really you love them, because really we would like to hug them all the time. And all the children. Yeah, sorry.
I was just going to say,
because they have family, and so
Yes,
they have children, and the children, they are healthy children, but because of they are from the lepers colony and from lepers families, they are not allowed to go to a normal school.
Right.
So that's why the Father Marian started a little small school for them. It's called Beatrix School, because at the beginning there were some Dutch people. At that time, the Queen of Holland was Beatrix. I don't know, something like this. So, in honor of the donation, they called the school Beatrix School.
But even today, the children are shunned, right? I mean, even today, the children are not allowed. So that's I know one of your projects, one of your many
This is the
projects.
main project we started, because Father Marian, after I spent at least 3 months there in Puri, and almost every day I was going there, and in the evening I went to the meditation in the Sri Yukteswar temple, and during the day I was going with the sister and the Father Marian, because he was from Poland, but he could speak German and also Italian. So it was very nice to spend time with them. Very holy man, very holy man.
Yes, you are.
No, he was.
Yes. Well, I know just a few. I'm just going to name a few. And Swami, if we have your permission, we would like to have the link to your Shantipuri and Friends Foundation, so that people can help with your mission. But you have the Mercy Village Leper Colony, what you were just talking about, and the Beatrix School for the children. You also have One Cup of Milk. Could you explain that project?
Yes. Because Father Marian, this was started from Father Marian already at that time, that they bought some cows so they could have the milk inside the colony, and at least 1 cup of milk would have been given to every child. That was a must. And then after the cup of milk, they added also 1 egg. So this was the minimum they had to eat every day. No?
Plus, we take so much for granted, right? I mean, 1 cup of milk and 1 egg.
Yes. At least, no? To have the protein and all what we really need to grow, especially for the children.
Well, I hope that we can help. I know that I'm sponsoring, I just want to share this, sponsoring one of the young girls, and I'm really excited
Yes,
to
yes.
find out what more I can do to help with this. But it's very exciting. It's lovely that you are doing this, but it goes on. You do so much more. From that, you also are working with the girls. And forgive me if I'm pronouncing the names incorrectly. You work for a home for the physically challenged girls.
Yes.
You work with the girls of Sikarmaha. Is that
Yes,
Sikarmaha?
Sikarmaha. Yeah, true.
Okay. And also with the girls in the hostel. And if you can explain how you got involved in that and what that is about.
Yeah, because going there every year, then many different realities, and so I came to know some schools and sisters. They were living in the jungle. So this Sikarmaha and Udayagiri, where the challenge girls are, this is in the jungle. So very, very difficult place because also malaria is there. And so we decided to give the help especially for the girls. Otherwise, they had no the chance to have any education at all. So these are schools only for girls. And then in the fisherman village, that is also in Puri, on the other side from the Basic School, there are also sisters. And when I went there, they had just a hut. So more than 100 children were just meeting in a hut. Amazing. So I said, no, you need a school. So we started a school there also. And because Puri, it's a place where many pilgrims come, but also tourists, Westerners coming. And where Westerners are coming, then kind of prostitution start. So we started to help the girls that wanted to go out of this work, let's say. And so this is also one main project.
And I just want to tell listeners, just a little amount goes a long way. I know to sponsor a child in the school, $120 is for the whole year.
Yes.
But even $10, $20, anything goes a long way and helps so much.
It is true, because with $10 you can do 100 times more whatever we can do here in the West.
Right.
Yes.
Could we ask you for a chant? Is that?
Oh, yes. No, since I'm talking about my traveling in India, I would like. There's a beautiful poem written by Yogananda. It's called The Divine Gypsy. And,
I love it.
And the verse says, roaming with Om. So I always felt that I was roaming, and I'm still, after the lockdown, I can roam again with Om. Yes, okay. I'm going to play the harmonium. You don't see it, but it's here.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sorry, just a second.
That's okay.
Okay. I will be a gypsy. I will be a gypsy, and I roam and I roam and I roam around with Om, and I roam and I roam and I roam around with Om. I will sing a song that none has sung. I will sing a song that none has sung. I will sing to the sky. I will sing to the wind. I will sing to the sky. I will sing to the wind. I will sing to my red cloud. King of the lands through which I will roam, King of the lands through which I will roam, and I roam, and I roam, and I roam around with Om, and I will roam, and I roam, and I roam around with Om. By day the shady tree will be my tent, by day the shady tree will be my tent, and at night the stars will be my candles, and at night the stars will be my candles, twinkling in the firmament. And I will call the moon to be my lamp, and I will call the moon to be my lamp, and light my silver sky camp, and light my silver sky camp. I will be thy gypsy, and I roam, and I roam, and I roam around with Om, and I will roam, and I roam, and I roam around with Om. And I will eat the food that chance may bring, and I will eat the food that chance may bring. I will drink from crystal sparkling spring, I will drink from crystal sparkling spring. I will doff my hat and off will go, like a wayward brook of long ago, like a wayward brook of long ago. I will roll over the green to scatter the joy of my heart. I will roll over the green to scatter the joy of my heart, to hills, leaves, and then depart, to stranger and stranger lands, from east to west, to stranger and stranger lands, from east to west. And I roam, and I roam, and I roam around with Om, and I will roam, and I roam, and I roam around with Om. And at night when I lay me down to rest, and at night when I lay me down to rest, I will sing to thee my gypsy prayer. I will sing to thee my gypsy prayer, and find thee always everywhere. But when this time my soul's to rest, but when this time my soul's to rest, I will dream of thee, whom I love best. I will dream of thee, whom I love best, and wake from many a lifetime's dreams. Then thou and I as one shall gypsy everywhere. Then thou and I as one shall gypsy everywhere. And I roam, and I roam, and I roam around with Om, and I will roam, and I roam, and I roam around with Om. Then thou and and I as one shall gypsy everywhere.
Namaste. That was beautiful.
Jai Guru.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Swami, I'm interested in, I know your music goes and travels and roams with you as well. Everywhere you go, your music goes. Could you share a little bit about how you integrate music into everything you do and how the effect of your music on the populations that you serve, whether it's the children or the people in your travels, and when you sing and chant, what is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I finished my first journey in Puri, Father Marian, because I wanted to stay there, because it was so beautiful, he said, no, if you stay here, there's not really something you can do. But if you go back, and I will give you 7 pictures like the one you have on the desk there on the table, of 7 children, and you look for friends who could just sponsor them to go to school. And say, okay, this is my task, I will do it. So I came back to Italy at the time, and so I had a friend, he was working in a TV, and he said, oh, it's a good idea. I can sponsor maybe some evenings where you can talk about the lepers and the children and the school, and then you can sing it as well. And say, okay, we can combine the 2 things together. And so everything started like this, and little by little, more people were interested. So from 7 pictures, now we have more than 11 or 1,200 children.
Wow.
Right.
We are taking care.
Wow.
So it
amazing
was not made on purpose. It just, everything happened. You just, when you are on this path, if you really trust, you just follow, and it's like, I was thinking, you just sit in a train looking outside, you know that the guru will take you home, and on the train many people are coming, and you can help here, can help there, and everything is happening without really a purpose. No, everything just. I like very much St. Francis, and he was always saying, just try to be an instrument of peace wherever you go, And so this is also the way I was trying to serve this work of Father Marian. So after that, every year I was collecting some donation, and that time I was going, with dollars. But when you go to India and you go to the bank to change the dollars into rupees, I remember I was going with a little purse into the bank, and I was coming out with a backpack full of rupees. It's so funny.
Yeah. Wow.
And then we were just naturally giving to the families this money,
Regarding
it's easier now. No, I mean now you using the transfer, it's much
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah.
Regarding your life, many of our listeners may not be familiar with what a Swami actually is, and the life that you live. Your life is all about service. You've dedicated your life. Could you explain the difference between a Swami, what that means?
Yes. So I always had the desire to become a monk. Swami is a monk. Swami means literally the one who knows the self. Swa is the self. Who knows this? Because most of the people, they think I am this body, I am my mind, but they don't realize that they really are the soul.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is the main thing. So when I in '92, after going to Puri, I was from '86 to '92 every year. I was staying in a yoga ashram to sleep, to overnight there. And there was a Swamini, a lady Swami, and she was disciple of Swami Shivananda from Rishikesh. So in '92, she asked me, "Do you want to become a Swami?" And I say, "Wow, it would be wonderful." Usually they say like this, and then you have to wait maybe 10 years or maybe 20
Right.
years.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then she said, "Okay, tomorrow it's a good astrological date for you."
Wow.
I said, "Tomorrow?" Okay, I was nearly fainting,
Yeah.
because that was really my deepest wish and desire. And I felt that the Guru also made another miracle in my life.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she performed this ritual, but she told me, I know that your Guru is a Yogananda, so I will just give the sannyas. Sannyas is like monkhood to you in his name. And she gave me the name, so I like it very much. And now I'm Swami Nirvanananda Saraswati. You know Saraswati? There are different orders and Swamis. Saraswati is the goddess of music.
Oh,
And
perfect.
so I felt, wow,
Perfect.
that's perfect for me.
Your whole name is perfect. You are such joy.
Thank you.
During this time, and I told Michael, I said, you're someone who practices your true self. I mean, you could be in the middle of anything in the pandemic and still find joy. I know that there are many people here who have experienced much less than what you've gone through and the people with whom you've worked, but they feel such anxiety and stress. What are some ways? What are some things? I think music obviously is one. What you listen to is going to change how you feel. But what are some things that you would share with people who
Just
may find?
just to find that place of joy. It's like the eye of the hurricane, whatever is happening around you, but you can still stay balanced and enjoy
Yeah.
all that is happening. And so if someone would say, how do I do that? I don't know if it's an easy answer, maybe not, but any
It's very easy. It's very easy. Sit down, be still.
oh,
So this is it's very difficult sometimes,
it's
but
understood. Yes.
it's very powerful. It's very powerful. So I would say meditation is I can say the only way to get rid of anxieties, depression, and fears, of course.
Yes.
And if you are inside in the stillness, then everything disappears, and then you realize that from this stillness and from this peace, then joy comes out.
Mm-hmm.
It's wonderful. It's a joy without a reason.
Yes.
Because they can ask you, "Oh, why are you happy?" I'm happy because I know I am the soul. And you feel your death, and so the soul is just a ray of God's presence within us.
Mm.
So it's really beautiful.
It's a different way of looking at it. We do think of ourselves as a body with the soul instead of a soul with the body.
Yes.
That we are a soul. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So, I'm just going to ask, and we have about 4 minutes left. And one of my favorites that I hear you is "Give Me Ma."
Okay.
Could you, as we kind of wrap up today, I just could you just sing maybe even a verse of Give Me Ma?
We have time for if he's willing.
If we have time. I mean, I don't want to intrude because I know we're on a kind of a tight schedule. So, but that is so beautiful, and yeah.
Yes, and this is also a chant. This is very good for me because the words are saying, "You can have everything, you can keep the world, but just give me Ma." Ma is the Divine Mother. Just you can take away from me everything, but give me Ma. I'm going to think.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, he's going to play his guitar.
In the morning when I rise, in the morning when I rise, in the morning when I rise, give me Ma, give me Ma, give me Ma, give me Ma. All this world, give me Ma, only Ma. And when I am alone, and when I am alone, and when I am alone, give me Ma, give me Ma, give me Ma, give me Ma. You can have all this world, give me Ma, only Ma. When the light will shine on me, when the light will shine on me, when the light will shine on me, give me Ma, oh, give me Ma, give me Ma, give me Ma. You can have all this world. You can have all this world. You can have all this world. Give me Ma, only Ma.
Thank you
Namaste.
so much.
Swami, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think that's a beautiful way to conclude our show. I'm so honored and blessed to have met you. I know Deborah has always talked about you and always looks forward to seeing you every year at the Mother Center. And I was super excited to get a chance to meet you. You have my email. I think we emailed each other last night. If you could send me the link to where we could post for people to donate to your your
I
work
will arrange to you the
would be
website.
beautiful, and that there are no words. It's just
We're so
total
honored.
feeling and love. So
Thank you.
thank you for
so
all that
much.
you do.
Thank you for everything. Hope
Thank
to see you next year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Thank you, Swami.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a
Blessings.
good day.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Bye-bye.
Namaste. Thank you.
Namaste.
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 That was lovely.
That was absolutely
It was
beautiful.
good. It was good.
Lovely. Yes, it was,
It was
lovely. Thank
beautiful.
you.
Thank you.